YouTubers. This is the ShallowCross Sports Network with the AA coming to you with another show. We're just getting on into it here. Let me move this a little. There we go. But anyway, we're been a little while since we been on a show, and that's another story. But this is going to be a quick Tennessee show, and first off, we're gonna talk about the Tennessee Vols. Jamon McCoy was working out down in Texas, where he's from, and tore his ACL, so he won't be participating in spring practice. And so, with that said, Tennessee is targeting a lot of defensive backs in the transfer portal. Now, they were targeting the defensive back who had transferred from Purdue and played at Colorado 1 year, and he had played a couple of years at Ole Miss. And there were some problems with his credits being transferred, so Tennessee dropped him. But Tennessee's lost out on several transfer portal players that we thought they were going to pick up, and the Prijon, the big offensive lineman, they outbid us, and Oregon got him. And of course now they're talking a Duke running back. I don't have that name for you, but he started for Duke last year, so they're targeting him also. And then right now in recruiting, they got Tennessee leading for Tristan Keys. And he's a 5-star receiver, and let me see if I can pick him up. But right now, Tennessee is leading for him. And this is a 2026 cycle. And but he's one of the players that Tennessee is coming close on, and they be giving us a crystal ball for him. And then we Tennessee picked up a big tackle, Alcindor, and he's gonna shore up that offensive line. But let's see here if I can get over there to him. Let me look here. But anyway, his name is Tristan Keys, and just looking at the players that Tennessee has signed for the 2026 cycle. They've signed Tyron Evans, a wide receiver. They got Tyreek King, another wide receiver. Brandon Anderson, O lineman. Braylon Outlaw, a linebacker. Gabriel Sender, I mentioned earlier. He's an offensive tackle. Faison Brandon, a five-star quarterback. Carson Sneed, a tight end right here out of Middle Tennessee. And then Tyson Bacon, a defensive lineman. And so they still out there chopping wood, trying to get players in. Now, as far as transfer portal, Tennessee is really doing a lousy job, in my opinion. They haven't, right now, I think they have one or two commitments. They got Amar Jefferson out of Alabama, and then they got Wendell Moore, the offensive lineman from Arizona. So that's the story on the transfer portal right now. Tennessee's looking at defensive backs. They're looking at offensive linemen still, and they're looking at receivers and running backs. So hopefully we'll hear something soon on some commitments. I know that the Spire Sports controls all the NIL money, and so that also works with transfer portal too. And so other big news is I think the contract is done for Coach Banks to come back as the defensive coordinator. Now, don't know if it's a 2-year contract or a 3-year contract, but he did an excellent job. Everybody looks at the Georgia game and Ohio State game, and they don't look at the full length of the season. But he did an excellent job, and hopefully we can stop Georgia coming up in 2025. Tennessee Vols basketball, they won last night. They beat Georgia. And Georgia was playing them pretty tough in the first half, but Tennessee came back and really blasted them in that fourth quarter and won that game going away. They were led by Zakai Ziegler and the other guard Gainey. So did a good job. And I think they play Vanderbilt this Saturday coming up. And of course, the girls are ranked 15th, and Tennessee's men basketball team's ranked 6th. So I'm trying to make sure I hit all the news. Now, it's a Tennessee 2026 recruit named Terrence Gray. He hasn't committed yet, and so Tennessee's still in the running for him, but I think he's visiting some other schools. But that's about it for this show. We're going to probably come to you with another show. And just to give you some updates right now, the big game coming up, championship game on Monday between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Uh, it's going to be a pretty good game, but I think Ohio State's going to prevail and beat them at the end. The game should be similar to the game between Penn State and Notre Dame. So we just have to wait and see on Monday what they do. Uh, There's some more national news. Deion Sanders is being mentioned for the head coaching job at Las Vegas Raiders, Dallas Cowboys. I think it's another team that's also mentioned looking at Deion Sanders. Now, I don't think he's going anywhere because they're working on a new contract with him and all his assistant coaches. So I think it's somewhere around the 10 million mark, and which will get him up there with some of these other coaches. But they seem to be recruiting real well and for the 2025 cycle and the 2026 cycle. Now, the 5th of February, I think, is the last signing day for high school players to commit and sign. And then the transfer portal is going to open up again in April. I think the 15th of April to the 30th of April. So there's still plenty of players out there that can be recruited and have not recruited yet, has not signed yet. But getting back to that game on Monday night, I got a feeling that Ohio State's going to run the ball and with a balanced attack with Judkins and Henderson, and then those three receivers in Jigba and Tate and Jeremiah Smith are going to be hard to stop. And then sometimes they hit their tight end on some shorter passes, sometimes some long passes down the seam. And then the defense is going to be ready for Notre Dame. Jim Knowles is an excellent defensive coordinator. So it's going to be a tough game. And I think it's going to be a battle between the defensive backs for Notre Dame and Ohio State's receivers. Both quarterbacks are relative good players. And I really do think both of these players, both of the quarterbacks, are going to play in the NFL and get drafted in the NFL. So it'll be a good game. And I'll try to have some more information in another show for Tristan Keys, the wide receiver out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And Tennessee can pick him up for that 2026 cycle. That'll really boost our ratings and also help us in that receiver room that's going to get lower every year, you know. And but that's going to end this show. Real quick show. I'm going to come back to you with some more content, and we'll see what's happening out there in the University of Tennessee world as far as football and basketball. This is Double A, ShallowCross Sports Network. We'll see you on the next show.